All right, well, as everyone's coming in, just wanted to guys let you know we're about to start our pre-show entertainment for tonight's guests. So at some point, very soon, you'll probably be muted. Definitely, this is an opportunity as well to download those virtual backgrounds. If you haven't, turn your cameras on, and we will be doing a giveaway for the virtual background participants as well for this episode. So, with that said, let's get this party started. I'm very pleased to introduce today's pre-show entertainment, Mr. Matthew Murray, and I don't really think this man needs much of an introduction. He's funny, he's talented, and we're giving him the mic and the camera. So, Matthew, it's all you.
Awesome. You know you are going to do well. And just before you start talking, they put up a photo of you doing even looking better. I just want to start here before we get going. If everyone could just take a moment on the gallery view. If you could just take a look at how good my headshot is. Like that is a really good headshot. Like that's a guy you would buy a house from, right? That is a handsome man. And now that I click this in, I assure you I do have hair. The virtual background does not want to pick it up. You know, this is a very busy background I've got going. Yeah, you don't need just leave it on the gallery view. I'm going to change my background here to be something a little less visual. There we go. Hey, that's a bit more. You know, that's my personal background. Maybe I should go with my comedy background. There we go. There's my comedy background, much better. Uh, and a lot of people are downloading the virtual backgrounds for Lucky Bastard. So I also have that background. This is actually when I felt I was really had a lot to drink and I was staring at the ceiling at Lucky Bastard, but it still counts as a photo. So that's if you lay on your back and look up, that's what you see. But I'll just go with that one. There's good. You know, it's good that some people only have their mics muted and some don't. So I kind of hear the occasional chuckle, which is great. You know, you don't want to do too well. If you guys could mute your mics, I greatly appreciate it because if there's one thing a comedian enjoys, it's working in an abject vacuum of silence. That's how we know we're doing really well. But my name is Matthew Murray. I'm the fourth most famous Matthew Murray in the world. If you Google me, you'll find Matt Murray, the hockey player. Then you'll find Matt Murray, the producer for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Then you'll find the Matt Murray that shot up a post office in Denver, Colorado. And then me. So if you want to know where being on the second page of Google results gets you, it's opening for Chamber on Tap. It's really cool. Chamber on Tap, this is brought to you guys by the Saskatoon Chamber. Saskatoon Chamber, it's like the NSBA, just with young people. Wanted to do some topical things for you if I could. Just to show that we're, doing stuff of today. So I had a look at today's headlines. I went to CKOM, the happiest radio station we have. And, read some of the current headlines. One of the big headlines today, what to do with your dog doo-doo in your yard as the spring melt happens. I'll save you the read, clean it up. That's a great thing to do. Other great headlines we had, some Saskatoon schools are known as castle schools. And if you read the article, you will find out why. It's because they look like castles. So there you go. I've just saved you a significant amount of reading from today's headlines. Big headline in Saskatoon right now. They're thinking about revising the speed limits in residential areas. I had a chance to look. There's an online survey right now with the city. You can participate in that online survey. I'm sure someone will post a link at some time. And in 2018, the council resolved that a detailed framework for revising posted speed limits on residential streets be developed. I'm pretty sure that after that detailed framework, we'll be looking at a comprehensive study of the results of the survey to see what we should do from that. I would expect after that, maybe a joint task force to see about the results from that. After that, we'll see if there's some synergies with existing and proposed projects relative to public disclosure. I'm sure after that, we'll probably have a town hall. I'd expect a plebiscite after that. And then by then we should be due for another municipal election, so it'll get forgotten. So there you go. There's the headlines of Saskatoon right now. I know things are making a lot of adjustments right now. I'm having to adjust doing comedy and COVID. Everyone here is working via Zoom. One of the things I've noticed is big controversy. I have a 5-year-old daughter. She's on eBay if you want her good teeth. One of the big controversies right now is masks in schools. Should the kids have to wear masks in schools? And I got to tell you, I am very much for them wearing masks in school because there are some ugly kids at my daughter's school, like just uggos, like chocolate and just anything we can do to conceal as much of their face, I think I would think even after COVID, masks in the school would be a great idea. Um, Other things, you learn a lot about your partner when you have to stay home during COVID. Recently, my wife learned that you can't smother a man in his sleep if he's wearing a CPAP machine. So that's a good tip. If you have to do that, you're going to have to tie a knot in the hose. Is really what you're going to have to do. I really like this not having to pause for laughs. This is good. I can just fire out like 40 minutes worth of material in about 5 minutes, and it's really good. Other things, I just celebrated my anniversary. I actually got married in October, but I just remembered today. So I'm celebrating today. It's really good. Oh, Jason Abig is here. Thank you, Jason, very much for joining it. We're going to have to start all over again because now the CEO of the chamber finally arrived. So, hey, everybody, my name is Matthew Murray, double T, double R, double chin. Great to be here as your stand-up comedy opening. A couple of the things about our organizations here. Living Sky is who we're going to be meeting with today, Living Sky Cafe. I had a chance to check them out online. Their most recent review on Google, 5 stars, way to go. Jennifer said she loved the salmon eggs Benedict. Now, why someone would want to eat salmon eggs, I don't know. That's a frou-frou millennial meal of some sort that I'm not aware of. But if you want to try the salmon eggs Benedict, check it out at the Living Sky. One of the nicest things about Living Sky, and I'm sure they'll touch on this in the interview, everything is locally sourced, which is, I think, is really big. In fact, they actually called me this morning asking to borrow some eggs. So I think, I live here in Saskatoon, so that counts. It is locally sourced. I also want to have a big thank you to Par Auto Body. They are our series sponsor, and I can already feel Trina go, no, don't make fun of the sponsor. No, I am not. They have contributed financially to allow us to do this in Zoom, and I sincerely appreciate their efforts here. I just want to let you guys know it is Par Auto Body, not Parar Auto Body. The extra R is silent. It is not a Parar Auto Body. It could be more of a pirate theme, Parar, I just saw on Instagram, actually, they just released that they've added another Chelsea to their team. So if you follow Par Auto Body on Instagram, you'll see they've added Chelsea Ann, or Chelsea A, they're calling her, which I'm assuming makes the existing Chelsea B. And I'm sure she's thrilled about being demoted to the backup Chelsea. But, right now, COVID, everyone's trying to pivot. So we pivot multiple Chelseas, whatever you've got to do to keep your Chelsea count high. And this thing is really good. COVID, really, everyone's been doing whatever they have to do to stay afloat. I have been doing a lot of extra work. Comedy has been very quiet. I've been working for Skip the Dishes. And let me tell you, that is a well-named company. Skip the Dishes. People, they skip their pants. They skip their self-respect. It is something working for this company. One of the cool things about working for Skip the Dishes is I can tell the type of people I'm going to meet just by the food I'm delivering. Like if I'm delivering burgers and fries, I know I'm going to a big fat white guy's house. If I pick up some tandoori chicken, I know I'm going to a big fat white guy's house. Pretty much standard. And one of the neat things about Skip is on shifts where I'm not working now, I get to keep the bag. So when I'm hungry, I just go into a restaurant with the bag and yell, Skip! And then I get home and find out what I'm eating that night. I'm like, oh, great, I'm having ribs. It's been great for the budget. So, that's my cost saving tip for you guys today. Get a Skip bag, walk in. As long as you're not picky, it can work out really well. Oh my gosh. I want to say just here at the end, I got another minute left. In all seriousness, I want to say thank you very much to the Saskatoon Chamber for letting me come out and entertain you guys a little bit. COVID has absolutely decimated my schedule. So if your company would like a lunch hour of humor, if you guys would like a Zoom comedy show, I am available. I'm trying to get any bookings I can. I'm going to put a link here in the chat. That's to donate. Now that if anything you want to do as a tip to your stand-up comedian is greatly appreciated. I just want to let you know that 100% of the proceeds in that fund go to support me, because I greatly appreciate it. Man, my comedy budget has gone in the tank. But if you do donate, I do have a download. I don't know if the virtual background, I'll pick that up. I used to sell DVDs after my shows, and then millennials would be like, I don't know what this is. This is something my mom would use. So what I have is I will, for every donation I get, I will mail you out a thank you card as well as a download card, which will allow you to download my entire first 60-minute DVD. as well as 4 audio tracks that are each an hour long. So if you're driving to Regina, it'll give you something to laugh to as a way to say thank you very much for your donation. Hey, it's 5:30. It's time to get on with the networking, which in Zoom means we're just going to be awkwardly staring at each other, but it'll be great. Thank you so much for having me, guys. I'm Matthew Murray.
That was absolutely fantastic. For the second episode of this season of Chamber on Tap, virtual edition. First off, I should probably introduce myself. For those of you who don't know, I'm Cody Potterdeski. I work for Connexus Credit Union and the professional business specialist there by day. By night, you can find me around doing many other things. I'm the Saskatoon chapter president for Saskatchewan Young Professionals and Entrepreneurs, involved with the Chamber here as the MC of Chamber on Tap and part of the planning team. And just really love this city and love seeing businesses grow. I have to give a shout out to our pre-show entertainment, Matthew Murray. That was very, very funny. You probably wouldn't have heard him at all if I would have been off mute. I was laughing. I think my stomach hurts a little bit. So thanks, Matthew. That was great. Love this, the shameless plugs at the end too. Promotion is something that a lot of businesses could use some tips on. So you did that really well. So you can also, and like Matthew said, you can find more information about him in the chat function of this episode's page. So as I said, this is the second virtual 2021 edition, and it's great to be back. I love seeing all the smiling faces. This has somewhat become normal, that this is what it's like to catch up with people and get together for drinks and virtual networking. But it's better than phone calls for sure. So I'm happy to see all the cameras on. Just want to remind everyone to turn your virtual backgrounds on. If you can't do the virtual background like me because your computer's too old, that's okay too. But turn your camera on. We love to see love to see your faces. So what I want to do is give you an overview of what you can expect tonight and all the wonderful things we have in store. So firstly, I'll be starting things off with some fun. We love to have fun at the Chamber. And we're going to have some friendly competition for a prize. And following that, I'll take a few moments to recognize the wonderful individuals that make all of this possible. Matthew touched on a few of them as he was going through his set as well. And then we're going to go over a few other announcements, items to note, and maybe do some more prizes. Then we'll get into the main event where Nadine will be interviewing our guests. And tonight, we're very pleased to be able to have the interview live, well, virtually. There's my dad joke for the day. So we're excited for that. Following the interview, there will be a Q&A following true Chamber on Tap fashion. So more on how that will work later. And then I'll come back on and say a few more nice things, maybe give some more stuff away with Trina's help. And we should have everyone wrapped up and out of here by about 6:45. Sounds good? Right on. I'm seeing lots of nodding. That's good. That's right on. All right. So the energizer for this episode of Chamber on Tap, if Matthew wasn't enough, we are going to do another scavenger hunt. Last month's episode was a ton of fun. So we put a little twist on it this month. And what you're going to have to do is be the first person to successfully collect and follow all the instructions related to the 3 items that you have to find. So first off, scavenger hunt participants are competing for a Black Fox Farm and Distillery Gin gift pack and a $20 Dutch Growers gift card. To be the lucky winner of this exciting prize, you must follow the instructions. I can't stress that enough. So let's get this going. T-Bone, you got a countdown for me? 3, 2, 1. All right, you are going to have to find in your house a toque, a pair of oven mitts, and a name tag. Now, it does not need to be your name tag, but here's the thing. You have to come back on camera wearing the toque, wearing the oven mitts. The name tag has to be placed on your person wearing the oven mitts. Your time starts now. You're so close. Hey, Ben! We have a winner. Congratulations, Ben. That was quite entertaining to watch. I saw you were prepared to tear that shirt right off if you had to get that oven mitt inside there. Latrina will follow up with you after the episode to make sure that you have the details on how to get your prize. Thank you very much for that entertainment. That was the best.
That was so entertaining. Congratulations.
We should have had you guys off mute. Just struggling. All right, now I want to recognize the sponsors of this season of Chamber on Tap. Without their generous support, we would not be able to be streaming into your homes and offices tonight and bringing you the fun, the entertainment, and the all of the great information as entrepreneurs and professionals we can glean from interviews and all the connections that we make. So our Chamber on Tap series sponsor is Par Auto Body. Very happy to have them on the team. Fantastic company around the community, and the work speaks for itself. Our promoting sponsor is Connexus Credit Union. Now, I'm biased because I work at Connexus, but I think they're pretty darn good too, and very happy to be here representing them. And then we have our supporting sponsors for this season. And our three supporting sponsors are Bamboo Shoots, LB Distillers, and Sound Lounge by T-Bone. And T-Bone is always here being our faithful sound man, making sure that you guys can hear us, bringing in the music and the laugh tracks, and making our Zoom meetings feel just a little more real and a little warmer. So all of our sponsors truly go above and beyond for the Chamber, and we're very thankful for all of them. So let's just give a round of applause to all of our sponsors. Love seeing everyone clap on mute. It's hilarious. All right, so if you have not already done so, I strongly encourage you to download the virtual background for that came in your meeting invite. We will be doing a contest or a giveaway, for everyone who participates in the LB Distillers virtual background for a giveaway at the end of this episode. So that's going to be a theme, so be watching for that. We're probably going to continue that on for quite a while. And we'll be doing a draw for the LB Distillers product at the end. The other thing that you will have seen in your invite link is the Support Local Restaurants initiative that we have. There's over 40 local dining establishments that are members for with the Chamber of Commerce, and we really want to support them. So really encourage you to, anytime, but especially when we're coming into a Chamber event, order some food in. You can enjoy and eat during the interview portion. And let's support the local restaurants that are having a difficult time in the economy that we're in right now. Now I want to go on and just quickly touch on the team that plans, executes, and organizes this. And we have a combination of both Chamber staff members and Chamber member volunteers that make it up. And I'd be amiss not to recognize them. So our team lead and Chamber events coordinator is none other than the wonderful Trina Scully. Trina, there's a wave. Our very talented Chamber creative coordinator is Henry Butrego.
Just leave it at Henry.
You know what?
Just leave it at Henry.
I'm just gonna have a drink. There, we're good. Okay, a little Long Island iced tea goes a long way. And then we have our volunteer team. So we have the brilliant Nadine Kanigan, who does all our interviews and engages with our hosts and connects with them and makes them feel warm and draws out those nuggets of information that we all come here to see. We have the audio genius T-Bone, who I've already mentioned, who is always letting us know that we cannot do everything we want to do without him. So you wouldn't hear any of us right now. You guys should have seen the sound check. It was 15 minutes of, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And T-Bone walking everyone systematically through a different set of steps. And then the last member on the team is the man in the orange jacket, me, Cody Potterdeski. So we all love the Chamber. We love what it does for the community, the activism, the engagement, and the representation that it gives us. So we're all very proud to be part of this. So now it's time for our second giveaway of the evening. The first 15 people who registered were entered automatically into a draw for a fantastic prize. So the pre-registration prize draw is for Trina.
Sorry, hang on a second. So the pre-registration draw is for Spiffy Car Wash gift card, $15, and a Impact Marketing gift swag bag. And that goes to Brian Hines.
Yay! Congratulations, Brian.
So Brian, I'll email you and let you know how you can receive your gift.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Brian, if you flip your virtual background over to the LB one, you could potentially get lucky twice tonight with having another draw. I'm talking about prizes, obviously. All right. It's now time for the main event. As I mentioned earlier, the interview portion is live, which we are always happy to have. Following that, we will have a live Q&A period with our guest speakers. So here's how this is going to work. If during the interview you have questions, and you can either type the full question out in the chat if you're having microphone issues or trouble communicating there, or you can just say, I have a question. I'll keep track of that. When we get to the Q&A period, I'll call on you to ask your question. You can unmute yourself, ask your question, and then we'd ask that you mute yourself again. If you don't, Henry will probably make sure that that is done for you. And we can glean all of the information we possibly can out of our wonderful guests tonight. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce our ever smiling, ever intriguing host, Nadine Kanigan. Nadine is a CEO of her own business in Saskatoon here with the Ultrasound Center, and she's just truly driven, absolutely wonderful to visit with, gets to know people. She's the kind of person that you can't help but tell all your deepest, darkest secrets to. So we love having her interview our guests. So I will hand it over to you, Nadine.
Well, thank you, Cody. And it's so nice to see all of your smiling faces. Thanks everybody for joining in. Now more than ever, it's really important that we try to maintain our social contacts for our own mental health and for the health of our businesses. So thanks for taking the time to join us, and definitely smiling a little bit wider here at the moment, thanks to Matthew Murray and to Cody as well. Thank goodness for comic relief. Really, sometimes that's just the only way that we can get through some of our hard days, is just to have a good laugh. So that's awesome. And it's a beautiful day. The weather has turned finally. I'm always happy to welcome in March, although, you know, this year we're laughing a little bit. People are saying, what, we're just gonna let March waltz right back in here after what it pulled last year? So, I mean, what are we gonna do, right? It really has been a year of a tremendously trying time, something that we never thought we would continue to see. I recall, you know, hanging on every word that Dr. Tam was saying about a year ago. As questionable as some of that definitely was, none of us expected to still be living through it today. So we've changed, we've adapted, we've grieved, and we've grown in multiple ways. But never has it been more important to stay together. So thank you all for being here. We're in store for a real treat tonight. We've have the pleasure of having a conversation with Jenna and Taylor from Living Skies Cafe. They are a real powerhouse duo. They have an intense passion for the culinary arts, and that's been their story for quite a long time. And they've turned their passion into a vibrant and very unique business here in Saskatoon. So here to share their story, please join me in welcoming Jenna and Taylor. Where are you guys here? Looking in the gallery view. Oh, there you are. Hi, how's it going?
Here we are.
Here you are. Awesome. How was your day? Were you guys busy at work today?
It was a busy one, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Well, busy is good when you're a business owner, but especially in these times, which are tough for restaurants, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very glad to hear it. So first off, welcome. And I just want to say that a picture says 1,000 words. We were having a glance kind of as a collective group here at your website, and wow, we were sold. Henry, do you have a minute just to pull up some of those images that we were looking at? I hope I haven't caught you off guard.
He's like,
He's grimacing at me. Anyway, There we go. Okay. I knew he would, he'd pull through. So there's definitely terms referring to, the erotic food photos that can circulate. And I hesitate to use that term in this forum, but wow, ladies, honestly, some of the food that you've got displayed here looks pretty incredible. So you obviously have a finely crafted skill set. Your dishes look beautiful and no doubt delectable. So this isn't something that you have developed overnight. Obviously, it comes from years of experience. So let's kind of dive in. Why don't we start with you, Taylor? I understand you started your company at the ripe age of 20.
Yeah.
So that in itself is so ambitious and impressive.
Thank you. Yes, it was very interesting. It was always my passion, and so I just decided that I was going to take a chance, and I opened up my first little catering company, just kind of doing whatever I could contract out to whoever would have me, and so I just kind of started doing as much as I could physically. Both of my parents had helped me, and my husband at the time, he helped me as well. So yeah, it was not just myself, but it was a support system of others as well. So
right, but I mean, at the age of 20, most of us are not self-aware or focused enough, to really understand what our talents are. I know, my 20-year-old self was just probably looking for the next $2 highball special at the bar. Maybe that's for me.
I was also doing that.
While you're embarking on this journey, so you've got a lot of experience under your belt. So that's
yes, yeah,
that's awesome. Know what you're setting out to accomplish at that point?
Yes, I knew that I wanted to eventually own my own restaurant, and I didn't have a huge income or like anything really to fall back on. So I knew that if I was going to go ahead and do it, that I had to be very strategic about, not going outside of my means and not, just like blowing myself out of the water. I had to take it step by step. So it was definitely something that I was very conscious on, just starting small and growing my talent and realizing what it was that I exactly wanted to do, because I was very all over the place at 20. Like I would have done anything food wise. Like it was just, I was making pierogies or cupcakes or like gift baskets. So yeah, it was definitely, I had to take my time to kind of hone in my skill set to be a little bit more direct in what my path was going to be. So.
And were you just learning sort of on your own at this point, how to cook? Does this really come naturally to you, sort of this pairing of flavors and, putting your own flair on things? How were you learning at that point?
Well, I had a good background with my family. Like my dad is French, and we had always done a lot of scratch cooking, home cooking in my home setting. So that kind of translated into my passion of going forward and just creating. Like I've always just been really ambitious to throw things together and see what they create. So I have no formal training. Even today, like I have no formal training. I'm just self-taught and always improving, always growing. I feel like I will never know everything, and I have to always just continue to experience and express myself. So
right. Oh, that's remarkable. So I came to learn that you two actually met each other in high school. So then I guess to you, Jenna, how did you and Taylor end up sort of linking up in this realm and ultimately becoming business partners?
So we went to high school together, but I would not say we're friends at all in high school.
We weren't.
No. Not even a little bit. I was a little bit scared of her, to be totally honest. But we met later on in life. I was living with a girl, and she was a delivery driver for the restaurant that Taylor worked at. And I saw that they were friends on Facebook, and I was like, oh, you're friends with Taylor Morrison. Scary. She's like, no, she's the sweetest girl. You have to come in and meet her. So my roommates and I would go for lunch, and we would chat there. And then a few years down the road, Taylor had her venture in the Mendel Art Gallery.
Yes.
And I was just kind of floating around doing different restaurant jobs. Didn't have anything too serious on the line. And I was looking for some daytime hours. So Taylor asked if I'd like to come learn how to barista, do the coffees, etc. I was with her there for a couple months and then had another job offer to go do some work with banquets and catering, which was more of a managerial position. So I decided that I should probably jump on that career-wise. Did that for about a year, and then just before Christmas, the one year, Taylor sends me a text message and she says, "Would you like to quit your job and come open a restaurant with me?" And I was like,
Okay.
sure.
Kind of a random text.
Yeah,
Super
random text
nonchalant.
right before Christmas. I was like, not even a phone call, but yeah. So I decided I took the leap with her there and came and joined her. I was done my job March of the following year, and then came on with her, and it's been great ever since.
Okay, because you had said that you kind of grew up in the kitchen as well, like your
Yeah. So my
mom was very
been in
involved.
restaurants since I was tiny. We would, that's one of my biggest memories, is going to go see my mom. She's always been front of house restaurant manager since I can ever remember. So
That's interesting. So can we talk a little bit about the Mendel? Then I guess sort of back to you, Taylor. So you had gone from your own catering business at 20. So how did the Mendel come about for you?
So I was offered the tender at the Mendel Art Gallery in February of 2015. And it was just also text message, very spur of the moment. Had basically gotten the opportunity to go in and take the tender over there. At the time, it was just a very coffee shop, baking, things like that. And so when I had taken it over, it was a commitment that I found that I could attain. It wasn't a super high rent. It wasn't a huge commitment. I could go month to month. So it was something that when I contemplated leaving my full-time job and making that whole career switch into being a entrepreneur, I felt like it was the right decision. So we went in there in the end of February 2015, and we took a week to renovate the space. And
Wait,
we
what?
opened in a
How did
week.
that happen? You have like a monster crew with you, or?
her
No,
dad.
my dad.
Her dad.
My dad
Okay,
is
that
very
explains it.
special
Once you
man.
give dad a hammer.
He
Yeah.
is the jack of all trades. So he basically built us a whole front bar. We had a very small galley style kitchen, and it was about 1,000 square feet in there. So it wasn't huge. We had probably about 25 seats, and the kitchen was very, very small. The bar was very small. But yeah, in a week we had renovated, we bought the equipment that we needed, and we opened up to the public, serving a full lunch menu, a breakfast menu, baking, and specialty coffee.
That's got to be a world record, just saying.
It
That's
was
pretty cool.
it was something.
So needless to say, you work well under pressure if there needs to be a task. So if somebody's, ordering lunch and you've got 15 minutes, you're on it.
On it like lightning.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. So you stayed at the Mendel, and obviously that's not your current location. So how did things change for you that led you to be downtown where you are now?
So we were in that location and that was when Jenna had joined us for a few months in there, but we were there for about 2.5 years. Even while the Mendel Art Gallery had closed its doors, they left the building space actually open as a public gathering grounds. There was washrooms, there was us, there was still the conservatory that was there. So we ran there, and once that time had come where they were ready to commit to closing down the space, we had already been looking for another location, knowing that it was going to come to a close. And throughout looking, we probably looked at 15 different locations. And one day we were downtown, and I was looking at a location that's actually across the street from where we are right now. And we just kind of happened to walk into what was formerly Rouge Gallery on the main floor of our space. And I just asked Wanda, who is also our landlord and a very lovely woman, but she's the owner of Rouge Gallery. And I said to her, I was like, how would you feel about having a cafe and restaurant across the street? And she basically went and locked the door and showed us our first edition of our space that we're currently in. So
Okay, so she convinced you not to go across the street, but to in fact come into her space.
yeah, it was not hard to convince us. They're amazing landlords. Both her and Morris are so great. They have supported us tenfold, huge. They are full believers in us, and that's been something that's huge. But yeah, she basically was like, I have this space available. You can have the keys now. So yeah.
Wow, that's unheard of. So was it designed for a restaurant at that point in time, or was it just open space?
It was actually a lash studio. So we had to fully remodel. We built our kitchen. We had to build more washrooms. We had to build all of our booths. It was a huge undertaking. And so we had taken it over in December 2017. And we ended up renovating it and getting it all ready for May 4th, 2018.
Okay. So was she actively looking for someone, or you just popped into her life and she said, okay, this.
Yeah, they were kind of looking, like, not super active. The space at the beginning was only about maybe like 1,400 square feet. When we started, 1,600 square feet. So it was newly available, and it was just kind of a weird coincidence.
That's good. I love the weird coincidence. It just seems like when things line up at the right time, then you get green lights the entire way.
Totally. It felt like fate, that's for sure.
Awesome. So things are ticking along well for you guys. You move into the space. There's obviously a lot of choices in Saskatoon when it comes to where to eat. I'm curious as to what is so unique about your business.
So I would say one of the things that's so unique about us is just that we're so multifaceted. Not only can you come in, sit down, have a cup of coffee and lunch, where everything's made from scratch, right down to the bread products that we make, but then we've also now taken on the market space as well. So after you have your lunch, you can stand up and head into the market space and purchase some of the things that you've just eaten in your meal, aka salad dressings or our pico de gallo that we make. So you can have that experience, then the little retail shopping experience after that. And then we're also a full-blown catering company as well. So we do everything from corporate breakfast and lunch to nighttime private events. We do weddings, we could do anniversary parties, and we rent out our space for things like that. So I think that's one of the things that makes us so unique, is just that we're so multifaceted. There's so many ways to enjoy our business.
That's awesome. So was that market space always part of the vision, or how did that end up?
It's always part of the vision. What allowed us to do it really was the COVID close down, because we were finally able to take a step back from what it was that we were doing and what we were working on, and really envision how it could happen for us. I'm sure that we'll speak to this later, but the meal service that we ran while we were closed down for COVID, we built it up in such a way that we were able to save some money to renovate. It really gave us the push in the fact that the people were actually looking for something that they could purchase that was cold and then warm up again at home and enjoy. So just another way to enjoy our products. And we opened that in June. When we reopened, the health authorities allowed reopening. We reopened with the market space. So.
Right. Well, we can certainly touch on that, because obviously the restaurant industry has been one of the hardest hit factors of our economy, for sure. So I was absolutely going to ask how you have managed to shift and pivot and grow. And, you know, if we think back to basically a year ago, what was going through your minds at that point in time?
So right at this time, about a year ago, we were just about to be so busy that we couldn't even
Couldn't
physically
handle it.
handle it.
Oh, okay. What was going on there?
We were just
Booked
growing too
solid.
fast for our, we
Yeah.
were only just about 2 years old.
Yeah.
We were growing the catering business so fast, and the dine-in business was so busy that we couldn't keep up staffing wise
Mhm.
with getting the bodies in the door and training them, and having people that we were confident in to be able
Yeah.
to do it without ourselves having to be 24/7 always in the building.
Yeah.
So then when things started to come around with COVID, and we were hearing of, there's potential that things might close down, we were terrified, of course.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
upset. We had a day where we sat down and we were like,
Sobbed.
we sobbed. We bawled.
Heavy crying.
Just thinking about what we were gonna do. We
All
didn't
of
want
our
our staff
staff.
to go, and
My parents still work here, so like that was something that was really on my
Yeah.
mind too, like just making sure that the safety of everybody was going to be number one, and like making money was one thing, but making sure that everybody was okay was
Mhm.
so much more of our priority, because we're not a huge staffed establishment, like we are like a family, so it was definitely that moment of like we just have to take care of everybody, and like
Mhm.
the business is one thing, but like we'll be fine, and we were just like we just have to make sure that they're going to be okay. And
Yeah.
so it was definitely that moment of like, okay, we laid everybody off a week before we were
The
actually
actual-
regulated too. So we kind of saw other businesses like, okay, they're closing, and on the Tuesday morning we were just like, okay, we saw 6 different places, and we were like, let's just do it. Do we just do it? And we were like, okay, we're gonna do it. We decide to like tell everybody, okay, you guys, like this is time to make sure that safety is number one, and it's not gonna be forever. We don't know how long, but this is
what has to happen.
what has to go down. So
And then from there, Taylor and I took 2 days off on the weekend, and we thought long and hard about what it was that we could feasibly do
Yeah.
without having to run ourselves ragged with just ourselves, literally, because we laid off all of our staff. We
Yeah.
didn't want Taylor's parents to be coming down because we weren't sure what was going on with the virus. So what we came up with was oven-ready meal service. So we would come to the restaurant, cook on Monday, Tuesday. We would then pack the food on Wednesday, and then head out in our personal vehicles to deliver to everybody on Thursday and Friday. We ran the whole meal service via text message. I amassed a group of about 150 people's phone numbers in my personal cell phone. I would text them all with the menu every week, and then take orders back through that way, which was actually really great until it got to be too busy
Too much.
to do, because I made a lot of personal connections with people in a time when that was a huge thing, because people were stuck at home and they couldn't talk to anybody. So to have a weekly little bit of a conversation with some people who otherwise might have been pretty lonely was nice. And then so that's what led to, we built that business up to a point where we were out and about. We were making about 500 meals a week. We were out delivering those in about 100 or 150 deliveries in 2 days. And then
You were cooking, and you were taking the orders, and you were delivering them. Just the
Yeah.
two of you?
Yeah.
We were busy girls.
So
How did you
in that-
sleep, or were you just like
No,
addicted to coffee?
we don't sleep.
Lots of coffee.
We don't sleep very much.
All of the coffee was for us while we were here.
That's right.
We had
Full
just
crafts.
ordered coffee, so we had 15 kilograms of coffee to drink between.
Oh, yeah, that's
the
right.
two of us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a lot.
That
And then-
is incredible.
In that period, we also had both of our husbands come and help
Yes,
us,
thankfully.
which was very thankful, because we wanted to keep our bubble as small as physically possible. We were hitting the grocery store one day. We were like dine and dashing, dropping bags on people's doorsteps, wearing masks from that weekend on. Like it was a weird experience, but like without having both of them. And then later on, as things not mellowed out, but like as we got more comfortable as to what life looked like, then my parents had come back and help us as well. So because we built it so big, so that it was a
Almost
lot
not
to
right.
handle. Yeah, it was a lot. So
So that whole ready-made food was absolutely a new part of your business because you were forced to shut your doors.
Yeah.
Basically, kind of a new plan.
Yes, yeah. And I had formerly done something that was similar to that in the Mendel Art Gallery. When I was there, I had done like the meals and frozen soups and stuff like that. So I was a little bit like comfortable with what the process would look like and the types of containers and like what kind of the game plan would be. But it was definitely, we were not ready for what it got to. Like we weren't,
We were very grateful and really felt the local love support in a big way
much.
because that is such a huge thing through this whole pandemic is how much people are supporting local.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But to, really watch you guys roll up your sleeves and just do whatever you could do to get that done. And also for people to still feel like, thank you, you're giving me this, I'm getting a nice meal, right? Because that often is how we express, to one another. It can be through sharing that meal through a food. So not being able to go out to the restaurant, you get something to your door. I know Matthew was ribbing Skip the Dishes a little bit there, but in that same vein, just bringing those creature comforts to your door makes a huge difference. Absolutely. Okay, so we did the hot meals and the market. So that also came and sort of was tagged onto that initiative somehow.
Yeah, so because we built that service up so strong, it actually allowed us to take 3 weeks. 3 weeks, yeah. So we renovated our front. It's about like 700 square feet, small-ish. It's quite small, but it was formerly it was the Rouge Gallery side. And so what we did was we renovated where our front bar was, and we extended it and included it to be a part of our new market space, which is the other like storefront, or what would you call it?
Yeah.
Like street front of our space. So it basically created this opportunity where we just had this aha moment where we were like, don't shut this part of our business down because COVID will come to an end, hopefully sometime soon. But we just, it was something that we had wanted we had talked about it in the past. Like we were like, we make everything from scratch, like everything. And so many people just have such a great appreciation of that. And we were like, we got asked constantly before, like, oh, can we get the recipe for this like salad dressing? Like, can I buy it in a jug? Like, what can I do? What about your syrups for your coffees? Is there a way where I can like take this home? And your breads are like phenomenal. How can I get them? So it just created this like window of opportunity for us to provide that service that we had always wanted to.
And the other part of that is there's no grocery store downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah, so where we originally went with the idea was we were thinking providing fresh, locally sourced produce to the people of downtown and eggs and dairy and meats and things like that. So that was what we sort of reopened with, was we were going for that grocery store vibe. We do still offer those things, but we found that the products that we make have been in higher demand. So we've sort of done a reshift already since June when we opened the doors. But
tested it out, and people still want to come back to, well, I saw so many great things like pickled carrots and all of your mustards and your relishes and things like that. They look amazing.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you guys are obviously so busy. You're back to in-table service now, so time has passed. And what is it like in the restaurant these days for you?
It's great.
It's good. It's busy.
It's busy.
It's interesting to manage in our space, but I feel like we have done a really great job with this, like the amount of tables that we have. The weekends are really poppin'. Lunch hour is always a really good lunch crush. And the brunch is picking up again. We just opened our hours up. We are now 9:30 to 3:30, 7 days a week. We were taking Mondays off, but now we've decided to really just get back in there because we've got people knocking on the door and they want us 7 days a week. So we are we are ready to provide.
Yeah.
Well, this is just such a awesomely positive story to hear. You've been working your butts off for years, really setting yourself up. There's this huge obstacle, but to just really see how you've carved your way through and that you are recovering from that is really inspirational. So I think all of us watching here today are just, you brought in this nice little bit of fresh air and positivity. So happy to hear that you guys are back on the path to recovery. And I'm curious to know sort of what's in store for you coming up then. What's next?
Well, as of this month, we have taken over some space on the 4th floor of our building.
Yeah.
Just for storage of things. We're moving our office out of the restaurant so we have more space for kitchen so we can take bigger orders and more. So I guess probably our next goal is going to be to take over the whole 4th floor. And then decide what we're going to do with that, whether we're going to make that into catering space for us to be able to take on more, have more kitchen, to be able to make more jarred goods, or we're not totally sure, but
I think it should be an event center.
Or an event space we might make it into once things are a little more normal and you can have large groups of people again. So
good for you. That growth mindset is really so important. And that's probably what has helped you guys be this creativity that you have to say, well, we can't do this, but what can we do instead? And it looks like it's actually turning out for the better for you.
Yeah. Oh, totally. We're not really great at sitting down, so it's always something. Something has to be happening.
Yeah, good for you. Is there something, I got to ask, like, do you have sort of your favorite dish or your signature things that you guys really love? And maybe it's something different for both of you.
It's such a tough call. I have to say the shrimp tacos, which have been around since the Mendel days, and I wouldn't let her get rid of them off the menu because they're phenomenal.
And I would probably say the ode to the smoked salmon Benny.
Yeah, that's right.
We smoke the salmon ourselves, so salmon eggs.
Yeah.
It's honestly unreal. Like, it's one of those things where it's a real flavor combination, and I enjoy it. I think it's great.
Awesome. So you obviously both have different roles within your company. Is there a way that you've changed, I guess, as individuals, and you try to bring your talents to the table? Who kind of does what in your business?
So I'm everything like menu, culinary aspect, kitchen, market, anything to do with food, really. Baking,
all the things. And then my forte would be the admin side of things. So if you're receiving emails from Living Sky Cafe, it's me tic-tacking away, booking the caterings, organizing those kinds of things. And then most of my experience lies in the front of house. So taking care of the front of house staff, the servers and the baristas and the guest experience actually dining in.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you really have found what the business needs, in the two of you together. So that's awesome. Well, I want to make a reservation. You guys are making me hungry. Do you have room for all of us? Like, can you stay open a little bit later today?
Yeah, we're still here, so we can open the doors. Yeah.
It's a mad DoorDash.
Yeah.
But I can't wait till we actually, no kidding, can come and book your restaurant for an event, and that would be just super fun to have you involved going forward. So
absolutely. Yeah, we've been doing lots of like, from the time that we've gotten to reopen, we've done tons of small weddings and like small group get-togethers. It's been a really like enlightening and an enjoyable experience to just be able to host those events again. And even though there is the rules and regulations, it's just so nice to put food on plates. Like, when we came back around, it was just like, please let me put this beautiful food on a plate. I don't want to put it in a container anymore. I have much love for these containers, but I can't anymore. So it's been a real joy to have those events that we've done thus far.
Well, I'm sure even in the container, it would have been beautifully presented. So, so well done, ladies. I should open this up to the floor for any questions, but please, if there's any lasting remarks that you want to say before we do that, it's all yours.
I just want to thank you for
Yeah.
giving us the opportunity to come down and speak with you and for you.
Yeah.
It's been a really great experience and something that we're trying to do a little bit more of. We have a hard time getting together and talking about ourselves and our business. We're usually so busy running around in it, and so it's really
Yeah.
nice to just have the opportunity. We appreciate it.
We definitely appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Most welcome. And like I said, it's so uplifting and inspiring to hear your story, because we've all had these struggles, but to see you guys coming out on the other side of it gives us all hope. So thank you. Yeah. Okay, so back to you, Cody, man in the orange coat. You are taking charge of our questions here, so I'll mute myself and let you take over.
Thanks, Nadine, and thanks, Jenna and Taylor. Really, really enjoyed that. We have one question so far. James Lear, if you want to unmute yourself, you can ask your question.
Thanks. My question is about the COVID-19 support programs from the federal and provincial government, and how important have those been for your business? And going forward, I think some of them, like the emergency wage subsidies, being extended to June.
Monumental.
Yeah,
Huge.
Yeah. The CEWS, especially, the wage subsidy, has allowed us to be able to bring on more staff and train new staff in a time, even if we're not having the busiest day, we know that we can fall back a little bit on that. Our labor cost isn't as horrendous as it looks like it is, so that does make things feel a little bit nicer and easier going forward for us to be able to train the staff that we need.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's absolutely been something that was huge, especially right at the beginning, coming back around to having dine-in and not knowing like how many people are going to be joining you. You're staffed ready for it to happen, you know, so you're sitting there at all times being like, we're guns blazing, and if people don't come, then it's just, you're sinking so hard. But that program has been huge for us. And then we've also been accepted into having our rent subsidy as well. So that was something that was amazing. Whilst also our landlords, they had provided us with grace period because they're phenomenal people. And so that was something that they worked with us at the beginning, making sure that we were going to be okay and able to stay in business, which I know that I don't think anybody else can really say that. So it was something that had helped us along the way as well. So
we are very fortunate in that we didn't have to use any of the loan programs because we were able to pivot and start up with the meal service and see revenue from that right away without having to pay employees. But I would say the subsidies have definitely been a huge help.
Great, thanks. And if you have any suggestions to offer to Jason and crew at the Chamber regarding some of these programs, it's good from an advocacy point of view as well. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good point and great question, James. Do we have any other questions? Jason has his hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. So I'm on my phone, so I'm desperately trying to hold this thing up and keep it steady. I'm getting the work out of my life, though. Like I've never burnt this many calories on a Zoom call in my life, just trying to keep this phone up. I wanted to just say that I think the two of you are like poster people for how to be resilient in a pandemic. I just hearing your story about how fast you had to make these changes. I'm not using the word pivot ever again after this year. We're all done with pivoting, but it's just really incredible. And in the midst of it, you were seeking out additional space and you were growing the business. You were thinking about new lines. It's just awesome. I'm curious how much of this is going to stick. You had to introduce the meal service and all these other new ways of delivering to customers and maintaining the bottom line and keeping your people busy. Is all of this going to stay once we sort of quote unquote return to normal? Or are you thinking you may snap back to sort of the leaner and meaner version of your former self when you weren't doing all these other things? What do you think?
I think that this is the leanest and the meanest.
Yeah.
I think that this is like it's like the caterpillar to the butterfly. Like we're flourishing, and the people of downtown, they absolutely love that market space that we've created, because the way that our restaurant was set up, when you came into our space pre-COVID, you would have to come in the same side where you would go to dine in, and you'd have to like walk by, and it was a very like weird hallway situation. And so now the flow that we have in our space is just so much more. We can accommodate so many more people, even in COVID times and outside of it as well. So it is really something that I think is like a little gem that we've created.
Absolutely.
So I think it's going to stick, and I hope it does.
And like we said before, we're not really ones to ever take anything away, for sure. We like to just expand and fingers into more pots and more and more. Yeah, we just,
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thanks for your question, Jason. And for the record, I would have had no idea that you were holding your phone up. You have very good upper arm strength. Very well done. Our next question is from Brian Hines. Brian, do you want to go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question?
Sure. You did an awesome job with your business. Amazing.
Thank you.
What a lot of people are struggling with is how to balance their personal life with any kind of work, or in some case, lack of work. What was the most important thing you did to kind of create that balance and stay positive?
We're very fortunate in the fact that even though we are business partners, we're also best friends, as I'm sure you guys can feel that vibe. And so our husbands are also best friends with each other. So we're very lucky in the fact that our families are in it, our husbands are in it, and even the people that we have working here for us feel like family. So for both of us, I think that though we do need to take time away as well, even when we're here, it doesn't feel like work.
It's like home.
It's like home.
Yeah.
We're both very happy here. We're growing it into, exactly what we want to see it be. And so I think that really helps a lot. We were able to take a little bit of time, especially this past summer, to go spend at the lake and just be away from physically being in here. And then we both like to do like yoga and just kind of meditate and work on our fitness as well. But I think those are all important things to keep a healthy balance.
Thanks, Brian, for your question.
Thanks.
I think we have time for one more, if anyone else has another question. Matthew, go ahead.
Hi there. So first off, my wife went and ate at Living Sky last weekend to try it out before this, and she wanted me to pass on the feedback that the meal was absolutely adequate. I mean, I'm just kidding. It was fantastic. It was really, really good. It was really good. It's fantastic to hear of all the areas where you're growing. We got a lot of really smart people on the line here. What's one area that continues to be a bit of a challenge, or one rough spot that you just wish you had a bit of input, like maybe someone in this group knows someone in an area of expertise to help you? What's one minor irritant that the chamber membership, or at least this on tap crew, could contribute to assisting you with?
Our toughest thing that we have at the moment and throughout our whole adventure is staffing, to be honest. We wish we could just clone several versions of ourselves that could just never stop working. But that is the thing that we have the hardest time with, is just finding core staff that care, because you can't ask everybody to care as much as you care, but they do need to have a general passion for what it is that we're doing, or it's not going to work out, because we are all so passionate about it. So passionate. That we have a hard time with finding people that carry that same passion. And then
because we make everything from scratch, it's not your traditional
Restaurant
line
job.
cooking job. Like
Yeah.
you're not ripping anything out of a bag. It's commitment that's needed. And so that's definitely like one of the areas where we always find that we get comfortable and then we'll like fall back a little bit where we're like, oh, we really do need more. Like right now we're currently hiring 3 different kitchen positions because of the events that are starting to book and the busyness of dine-in and how it's all just rolling along much as we saw pre-COVID. So Jenna and I have that little like, get ready for it because here it comes again. So we're just trying to brace for what we know is going to come. And because we love to do everything, it's like as soon as the festivals open back up, we're huge on that. So it's we need all the people.
More.
More.
Awesome. Great conversation. Great questions and great insight, ladies. As I just quickly posted in the chat, you can really tell that you have your heart and soul into this business, and that's what's driven you, and that's what's continuing to highlight your success. So well done.
Thank you so much.
Right on.
Trina, tell your daughter to drop off a resume. we need
Perfect. I will for sure.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Trina, I think it's time for another giveaway.
Yes, it is. So I think we're going to do the virtual background giveaway, I believe. Is that right, Cody?
Yeah, I think that would be the good one to do next.
Perfect.
Was that a drum roll, T-Bone? Oh.
Sorry, I'm off. There should be a drum roll. Do you hear my drum roll?
If it was this drum roll or your stomach growling, I couldn't tell.
Came and went very quickly.
Right. Okay, so the winner for using the LB virtual background is, and I just pull it up here, random draw, is James Lear.
I was rooting for you, Brian.
Yes, Brian, you did end up getting a lucky bastard background, so good for you.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Trina, and congratulations, James. Next, let's do another draw. We actually have a giveaway for an attendee that's a gift from Living Sky Cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, do you want to see it?
Jenna and Taylor, like, you do?
We just wanted to win our own gift. No, I'm just kidding.
So another random draw. So the ladies from Living Sky have generously donated a gift, I believe a t-shirt and some lovely items from their market. So yay, that's so exciting. And the winner is, okay, hopefully I say this right. Is it Prativa?
Oh, scared me. Disappeared off the screen.
Sorry, how do you say it? I lost her here.
Can't hear you, but Trina, I think you guys could probably connect with the chat feature.
Yes, absolutely. Or I will email you and make sure that you get your lovely prize.
Wonderful. Congratulations. And thank you, Jenna and Taylor, for that nice giveaway.
Thank you.
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed the interview. I think like if you read through the comments after, I encourage you guys to do that before you sign off. Everyone is just full of positivity and encouragement and loves your story. I know I am incredibly hungry now, even more so than I thought I would be. And I love food, and I've eaten Living Sky several times, and never once have I been disappointed, except for when I no longer have anything more on my fork. That's the only time I've ever disappointed. I have definitely ordered from you guys more than once in an evening. So, so I want to just go on and announce an upcoming chamber event. So we're looking forward to on March 11th. the Chamber is hosting another power lunch with the topic focusing on the future downtown entertainment district. So that's going to be a fun one for sure. Very interesting. Go to thechamber.com and register for that one. So the Saskatoon Chamber's website. And make sure to follow the Chamber on social at Stoon Chamber. So I also encourage you to pre-register for that event. Also pre-register for next month's episode 3, which is on April 7th, where our guest speaker will be Kevin Scharf from Sherwood Chev and RV. You will not want to miss that one. And our pre-show entertainment for next month is Sheldon Corbett on the piano, who will be doing our opening entertainment, and incredibly gifted there. So really encourage you to come enjoy that pre-show entertainment. We will be doing another first 15 prize draw as well. So if you're one of the first 15 people to register for next month's episode, you will be entered in for that chance to win there. And I also just want to put another plug in, really encourage you guys to support your local chamber members throughout this time. And we're, focusing timely tonight on the restaurants. So especially, look at that link, order in from one of the chamber member restaurants, and enjoy some meal with your friends, your family, or virtually with whoever you can connect with, and let's show our love there. I think now that we're all on the topic of food too, something that is kind of on theme is the second episode of the Flat Out Food TV series is on CTV at 10 o'clock tonight, I believe. And so T-Bone with Sound
City
Lounge.
TV. City TV.
City TV. What did I say?
He said CTV.
I kind of had the letters right, just missed some in between, right?
Yeah.
So, T-Bone has spent the summer working on this project, and it just highlights the amazing food scene that we have throughout our province. So we encourage you guys to open, turn on your TVs. I'm so used to like phones and laptops, like open up, log on. It's just turn your TV on and watch that tonight. Lastly, I just want to thank again all of our sponsors for making Chamber on Tap possible. Par Auto Body, Connexus Credit Union, Bamboo Shoots, LB Distillers, and Sound Lounge by T-Bone. I hope you all have a great evening. We're going to leave the room open, so if you want to network and connect with people for a bit yet, you're absolutely more than welcome to. And I look forward to seeing all of your smiling faces again very soon. Have a good night.